Hey, I'm Alex Keller,
I'm Mike Harding.
and this is the Filmtastic Voyage.
Welcome, everybody. Hey, it's the Filmtastic Voyage, your number one source for talking about movies.
Well, I hope it is, at least.
Rambles, scrambles, all kinds of talks. We mix it up. We sort it out. We flip it open. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We tie it up. That's what Filmtastic Voyage is all about. We're talking movies, sometimes music, sometimes TV. All right?
Yep.
If it's on film, especially. Listen, that's right in our wheelhouse. I'm Mike Harding.
I'm not. I'm Alex.
That's right. And as always, we're here, and we're here to talk about stuff. So, Alex, what's new, man?
In my life or in movies? It's a big question.
Why don't we start with your life? I'm curious. I want to catch up with you.
Since last week?
Yeah.
Nothing.
I'm wearing the same shirt as last week.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, every shirt I own is kind of a dark gray, so I can get away with wearing the same shirt several days in a row.
That's right.
Not really. I mean, several podcasts in a row, I think you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We didn't record these both back to back. What are you talking about?
No, absolutely not. But yeah, what's new, man?
I got Mudbox on my computer, which is pretty cool. That's do you know ZBrush?
I do know ZBrush.
For the audience who might not know, it's a CG modeling program. And Mudbox is Autodesk's proprietary thing. It's basically their version of ZBrush.
Oh, okay.
And I subscribed to that, and I made a bunch of monsters.
So it's sort of like it's like a sculpting kind of it's like a sculpt.
Yeah.
It's like set up to be sculpt kind of. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think ZBrush is better. I haven't really used ZBrush that much, but it seems a lot more robust.
Okay.
And it's also industry standard. But Mudbox is really fun for what I want to do.
Yeah. So you made monsters.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of monsters?
That was just test monsters.
How many?
Just one.
Okay.
I mean, like...
We talking Triclops, Cyclops?
Yeah, you got the two eyes, one of them Biclopses.
Oh, okay.
It was just a test. It was just sort of me fooling around, just sort of figuring out what brush does what and what goes where.
That's cool. So with that, like, I can't imagine... do you need like a lot of processing power for like a program like that? I imagine you maybe would, right?
No, because my computer is great.
Didn't you recently buy a new computer?
Exactly. I was like, you know what? I'm tired of waiting around, telling myself I'm going to get a nice new computer. I'm just going to buy a fucking nice new computer. So I did.
Nice.
Because I do so much goddamn technical who knows what. I deserve something that doesn't chug.
Now we're talking PC?
It's a PC, one of them
course.
Personal computers. A Microsoft Windows machine, you might even say. I don't deal with no Linux.
Well, what about Mac?
I have a Mac also. I use my Mac for, was my old computer. I used that for mostly like writing stuff or, bills.
Or making some cool new track in GarageBand?
Oh yeah, that too. Like
making your solo album?
Well, it's because thankfully, my Mac comes with like GarageBand. It comes with fucking its own version of Word, and I don't have to pay for Word.
Right, yeah.
All that stuff.
Which is nice and convenient.
And I have Photoshop on my Mac. I don't have Photoshop on my PC yet, which is annoying.
Interesting. Now, would you rather have it on your PC?
Oh, I would rather have everything on my PC. Well, not everything. I'd rather have all the art stuff on my PC though.
Now, I've been a Mac user for the last 10 years now. And one thing I'll say is I feel like I miss out on a lot of the world with a Mac. I miss out on a lot of things. For one, what bums me out is there's no way to really like. I mean, I'm sure maybe there is a way to customize your Mac or upgrade your Mac, like really like unscrew it and like put shit in.
Oh, you're not. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like with Macs, you can't do that really.
Yeah.
With PCs, it's sort of like, oh, here's the door, just unlatch it and then like stick your shit in.
Yeah,
you know?
mine's got like a glass door that you can just like you just go.
Yeah.
Take it off. Just load it with like fucking graphics cards and who knows what, and you put it back in. You screw it up, and then ideally it would still work. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what's so great is like with a PC, it seems like if you need something upgraded, you just can upgrade
Just
it.
fucking do it, man.
Yeah, and what bums me out though is, because I do want to get a Mac, I do want to get a PC.
They're cheaper.
You know, I'm actually, it's sort of in the back of my priority list, but I do want to get a PC sooner than later. Because I feel like, hey, there's so much more you can do with it. But the bummer about it is like, and maybe you can shed some light on this, is like viruses and shit.
I haven't gotten a virus because I don't fucking download executables that aren't like things I know that they are, you know?
Right, yeah. But like with Macs, I've never had any problems with viruses or anything.
Neither have I.
And then I know like the vast majority of spyware, viruses, all that is sort of with PCs.
Yeah, that's the thing because it's more, easy to program for or whatever, and it's also more widely available. But like, I don't really know how that stuff works. All I know is don't go downloading strange executables off the internet. That's pretty much it.
Strange executables.
Yeah, like don't fucking install things on your computer that aren't from reputable sources.
Oh, gotcha.
It's like don't just go download every fucking video player you find.
Right, yeah.
That's the only way I know how to avoid viruses.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have an antivirus or something, but don't get Norton's or one of those because those are basically viruses in and of themselves. My parents' computer, Mom and Dad, I'm calling you out. Their computer is just like slow as balls because of their fucking
Riddled
antivirus. Like every fucking 10 seconds, I go on their computer, like check my email or whatever I'm doing whenever I visit home, and a bunch of pop-ups pop up from the computer antivirus being like, hey, we checked for your antivirus. No viruses here.
Well, that's what's funny is
we'll check it again.
Thinking back to more than 10 years ago, I actually kind of remember that. I don't know if it was McAfee or Norton's or what.
Oh, they're all bullshit, I'm sure.
But it would constantly be doing that shit. It would constantly be going like, oh, we got to check. And then it would take like 20 minutes to just go through whatever, absolutely everything on my computer. I'm like, dude, like we did this already. Like go away. Leave me alone.
Like I'll be like just like, doing whatever. Like again, check my mail or something, and like a little pop up graph, like a bar graph on the bottom will pop up and be like, "We're checking all your levels. Oh, look at us!" And it's like you're literally having little fun like clip art fucking graphics that are slowing down everything.
Yeah, yeah. So listen, kids, kids at home, listen. Don't fuck around with Nortons. All right, that's what we're trying to say. Don't even if you're a kid named Norton, change your name. All right, you don't want to be associated with that. Anyways, so that's your personal life.
Yep.
Talking Mudbox. For anybody who wants to make monsters, go out and
just do it, man.
Throw some Mudbox.
$10 a month.
Throw some Mudbox in your life. It's only $10 a month.
Also, would recommend some kind of stylus or tablet type deal. Using your mouse is
that's only 100. That's only $1,500, you guys.
No, I mean like you can use like a fucking like a what do you call it?
Bamboo.
I have a bamboo. I don't know if they make bamboo anymore. They got like Intuos or whatever they call it. It's just get some
Intuos.
Wacom. Just get one of them Wacom.
Wacom.
Which I only recently learned how to pronounce that.
Is a Wacom?
It's Wacom. It's a Japanese company.
Oh, okay.
Because I used to think, it's Wacom or something. I used to just say Wacom, but it's Wacom.
Well, some people say Wacom.
No, it's Wacom.
For anybody who doesn't know what the fuck we're talking about right now, a Wacom is basically you got the tablet and it has a screen on it and you just draw directly on the screen.
They also have just regular like pen pressure sensitivity tablets too, like the Intuos was what I was saying.
But that's like you're looking on the screen.
Yeah, you're looking at the screen and then you're drawing down, but it's still a Wacom product.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, yeah. So the Cintiq. I'm sorry, everybody.
Yeah, we're talking about Cintiq.
Already misleading.
Yeah.
So the Cintiq specifically is you got the screen in front of you and you're drawing on the screen. The Intuos and the Bamboo are like you're drawing on this thing, but it's just pressure sensitivity and you're looking at the screen to do it.
Yep, and that's what I got.
So
And it works.
that's the thing. If you want to make a screenshot of Alex and I right now, and then you want to draw mustaches on us,
I I already have a mustache.
well, if you want to draw a mustache on me, you need either you need a Wacom product. All right.
Well, you don't. Like, you get a cheap Chinese knockoff. There's a lot of those.
Yeah, you
They
can
work.
do that.
Questionably.
So yeah.
Yeah, I've always wanted a Cintiq, but like, I don't think I'd ever use it enough to justify it.
Oh, I didn't know that you didn't have one.
I have a Bamboo.
Oh, okay. I
have-
just figured you had both or whatever.
Well, I have a cheap Chinese knockoff one also.
See, because here's the thing, I would love to upgrade my Cintiq. Like right now, I have the 12-inch Cintiq.
Would you like a cheap Chinese knockoff one that may or may not work?
No.
Okay. The thing works. The pen is the question.
Yeah. I don't know. I want to get the bigger Cintiq. I want to get the whatever the I think was it 22 inches.
I want a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's $2,000, man. $2K.
Yeah, but then you get into the territory. It's like, would you rather just get a 2-in-1? And that's like the laptop that you can buy where you can flip over the screen and just draw on the screen.
My girlfriend just got an iPad with the pen,
Yeah.
and that seems to work pretty well. Although it doesn't really have Photoshop or any of like the real good programs. It has like its
Oh.
own version of Photoshop or something, which is always just a little bit finicky,
Oh yeah.
especially when it comes to like exporting. I had dealing with a thing earlier where I had to export like a bunch of images I just drew on your iPad, and it was like such a hassle.
You know what else is finicky? Photoshop.
I love Photoshop. What are you talking about?
Nah, Photoshop's fine.
Better than fucking GIMP.
Then what?
GIMP? You know, the free one, free Photoshop.
It's a weird name for a product.
I used to use GIMP when I couldn't afford real things, and I would, all my shit looked like garbage. It's fine. It's an open source thing. I'm sure there's lots of plugins and stuff you could do, but like I was like, 19 or something. And I was just like, it all looked bad.
Well, that's the thing. When you're 19, everything's bad, but you think it's good.
Well, no, it's like I didn't have a tablet, so I was drawing on the computer with my mouse essentially. So what I had to do was I had to get the line tool and like zoom in really far and do like straight lines to make curves,
Oh.
like
Oh, interesting.
and that kind of stuff. Like
Yeah.
I would draw and scan them into the computer, but like I didn't know like couldn't use the color layers or anything really good, and had limited stuff. So a lot of my old art is terrible, but my mom says it's good.
It's funny. A lot of my old art is terrible, and my parents. I think after I graduated or whatever, after I was in art school and graduated and all that, and actually started producing some better artwork, that's when they were like, "Your old artwork was so bad," and I'm like, "Oh, thanks."
Yeah, my mom's always like telling me like I should like, oh, you should take all your old college drawings and like publish them. Like no.
Hey,
I should
how would you publish them?
like publish like I don't know like make a photo album or something, like print them out. No, and also I can't draw today, so no.
I've seen your artwork. Your artwork's very good.
It's only good because it doesn't apply to the rules,
Listen, everybody.
and it's not good.
You want to know who made the logo for this here podcast? This guy.
That's like not a drawing though. That's like design. That's different.
Still, though, I mean, okay.
That's like using vectors and stuff. It's all in the computers. I'm not talking about like actually like taking pen and pencil to paper and drawing a character with stuff.
Well, all right, but the fact of the matter is, I think Alex here is selling himself a little bit short.
All I draw on paper is a bunch of spooky monsters, and they don't have to, they don't abide to the rules of like anatomy.
Nor do they have to, Alex.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I got a question for you since we're on the topic of art and illustration.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, I guess DC, because you're more of a DC Comics guy.
It's true.
Let's say they came at you with a really cool offer to, I guess, either write or draw one of their properties for a bit. Like, just have like a run. Have like a 12-issue run. You know how they do nowadays.
Yeah. A miniseries. A Watchmen, if you will.
Would you do it?
Well, is there another part to the question? Just would I do it, or?
Well, okay, would you do it? And then also, which character would you want to do it for?
Okay, the answer is A. I would not fucking draw. I can't draw environments. I can't draw perspective. I know perspective, but I can't fucking draw it. I can barely draw characters.
Well, that's why I included either writing or drawing.
I'd write one though.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not really a professional writer. Even I've written stuff. But I guess, I don't know. It would be, I would get dragged through the streets. I would get drawn and quartered from my shit garbage by all these comic book fans.
Okay, here's the thing. I'm going to stop you right there because I'm just going to say, and this might be a mean thing to say, Alex, and viewers out there. There's quite a few comic writers that maybe are less than qualified.
Well, yeah, I'm sure.
So I wouldn't worry about that so much.
All right, fine. I'll write you goddamn comic, Mike. Who would I choose? Well, like the obvious answer is Batman, but like that's such a such a burden, and I don't think I can't think of anything to say for Batman that hasn't already been said besides his penis. So, and that's already been said. So that's basically it.
What if you gave him 2 dicks?
No, we haven't seen Dick Grayson yet, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
No, so none of that. Let me think. What DC comic? Maybe like The Question. That'd be kind of fun.
That's a villain, right?
No, he's the guy. He's like the detective with with no face. The no face.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
You never seen The Question? You don't know the fuck I'm talking about? Here, hold on.
Who is that? A Batman character?
No, he's just a DC Comics character.
Oh, he's just a character on his. He's a superhero.
Yeah, he's like a detective
with just no face.
Like it's like a mask.
Oh, okay. I mean,
like this guy from the animated series. You know, this fucking guy.
Oh, I didn't realize. Man, I forgot all about that guy.
See that guy.
Okay.
That guy.
So for the audience, for the listening audience, it's just a dude with no face.
Yeah.
He was in the show? Where the fuck was he in the show?
I don't know. One of them fucking thingies or whatever.
Probably like Justice League Unlimited or something.
Like that would be fun.
So what would be the story that you... I just broad strokes. I mean, like, what could you do with The Question?
I don't know, just something detective-y. But I guess, I don't know. That's just the first thing that came to mind, like something that, like, because he's been missing for like 10 years.
Uh-huh.
Like ever since New 52, like he's been like MIA. So it's like, oh, we're not bringing him back. I don't know how I would.
Yeah.
But if I had an established character that's currently running, I guess, if you wanted that. Is that what you want, Mike? Is that what you want me to say?
No, it could be anything you want. I mean, that question, that's a very good, legitimate answer, The Question.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what I'd do with it. Him. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you answer your own question, huh? Mr. Hotshot?
Well, I will say I would pick DC.
Would you draw or would you write?
I mean, if I could do both, I would love that.
No, you gotta choose one.
I would love that.
Gotta choose one.
I mean, I guess write.
Also, nobody does that. No one writes and draws their own.
Sure, absolutely.
You're right.
Absolutely.
No, it's Mike Mignola, speaking of last episode.
Frank Miller. Some other people.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there's people that do that.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
The reason I would pick DC over Marvel is I think Marvel is already, they have just this, they have such a big roster of characters and they've all hit these little archetypes and niches and stuff, but DC, I feel there's much broader strokes with their characters. Like, I feel like there's less of a universe maybe, and then there's more you can do with these characters because like they haven't really done much to deconstruct especially a lot of the heroes are just these blank slate heroes, right? So, and I think I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but I would love to write like a Superman arc. And the reason why is I feel like there's a huge opportunity with Superman that like no one has really taken into account before. where you could have let's just say it's some villain that finds this out or something, but like I feel like a tactic you could use against Superman is taking advantage of his like hyper senses, his hypersensitivity to things, right? So I feel like you could feed Superman spicy food and he's just gonna fucking lose it, right? And I know like they haven't explored the physics of this yet, and these physics don't really exist. I mean, like I think Superman in the comics right now, it's like if he was to eat spicy food, it'd be like, oh, well, he's extra tolerant of it, right? But I'd want to go the other direction. I'd want to go like, listen, if this guy can hear shit from half the earth away, then maybe someone with a dog whistle or they've just set this frequency with like a whistle or something. They blow into it, and everybody else is fine. But for whatever reason, Superman just fucking like...
Isn't that what kryptonite is, though? Isn't like a human's like, oh, what's this? And Superman's like, oh, my God.
Well, yeah, but it's just a mineral that makes him weak and blah, blah, blah. I'm just talking about like someone... Like if it was a villain that was like, hey, I got this whistle that only fucking... Like it just destroys Superman's inner ear, right? And like, let's say Superman's flying, but it's just such a painful frequency that he just falls out of the air. Or like they trick him into eating this spicy food where he just can't handle, like he extra can't handle it because like he can't handle spicy food. Or then also another thing is like Superman, when he's walking around, he's kind of grossed out by humans.
Is he?
And, well, no. This is how I would write it. And the reason why he's grossed out by humans is like he has vision that's similar to like a bird of prey, right? Like with a bird of prey, they could supposedly see like bacteria crawling on things, right? They could look at someone's face and just see like gross ass shit on their, you know what I mean? Like microorganisms or whatever, right? So like Superman would look at Lois Lane and be like, oh, there's like just see microorganisms and parasites and shit like just crawling on her skin. So I don't know. And then like he has to be really careful with his strength because like let's say he gets startled. Well, I guess this already exists, but you know, he closes his car door a little bit too hard as Clark Kent, and the door just falls off.
It's like Mr. Incredible.
Yeah. I don't know. I just would love to write a flawed Superman where you're taking his hypersenses and it's sort of, here's something that works against him, as opposed to just the world being his oyster and everything works with him and he's whatever, right?
I was literally thinking about this the other day. Can Superman get food poisoning? Like, there's no reason he can't.
Yeah.
Like, sure, he's got super strength and stuff. Doesn't mean he's got an iron stomach or a steel stomach.
I guess the idea is that he does. I don't know.
Like, I guess so. Like, but like he shouldn't. Like, right? Like, there's nothing about, you know, bad milk that's gonna like Superman's like suddenly it's like super digestion. Why would Earth's atmosphere make Superman have super digestion? Huh?
Well, the thing is, I think he would be able to detect that kind of stuff better than anybody, right?
Oh, whatever.
He'd be able to detect rotten shit. You know, he'd go to Chipotle, let's say, and he'd be like, oh shit, there's like E. coli in this.
Oh,
Chipotle.
just give him one thing, everyone. You can't eat spicy food, like you said.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think that's I think I would love to do something like that. Like I could picture the Joker being like just a huge fucking pain in the ass for Superman because the Joker, that's something I think the Joker would think of. Like blowing a whistle that has a frequency that just fucking annihilates Superman.
I'd like to write a comic that's just the day in the life of the Riddler. It's just like him setting up his big scheme and then thinking of the riddle. It's like, what's the perfect riddle for this? What's going to really stump Batman this time?
Yeah. How sad would it be if we find out that Edward E. Nygma would go home to just a perfectly like nice wife and kids every night, but he's just this dude that's obsessed with like figuring out riddles. Sucks for the kids.
Yeah, and then he gets punched in the face by Batman throwing to Arkham Asylum.
Now, do you think they'll make a gritty Riddler movie?
I'd like it. I'd like to see the Riddler done in a really like nice for once, where he's just like a nice dapper guy in a suit. He's just trying to trick you with his riddles.
Yeah. I wonder who would be good casting for that.
I mean, do you remember the fan casting that was like Neil Patrick Harris back in the post Dark Knight world for whatever goddamn reason? Or
I think
David Tennant was another one always thrown around there.
Yeah. I don't know.
For the Riddler, who would I cast? It doesn't matter.
I'd pick that one guy that played Vision, and Paul
Bettany. He would be
Paul
a good Riddler,
Bettany.
but like that's too obvious. I'm kind of tired of all the obvious picks. Speaking of which, I saw something which basically I'm stealing because I think it's a great idea.
Go for it.
So like everyone's like, oh, next James Bond, Idris Elba, and I've gone on record several times being like, no, he's too fucking old. He's like 50 goddamn years old, too old.
Right.
But you know who would be awesome? If I had to pick a vote, and I'm going to look up his actor's name real quick. Well, I'm just gonna jabber and stall just so I don't mess it up. And I was thinking, what actor would be a great James Bond? Oh God, hold on.
Kevin James.
No. So yeah, right. So it's the same guy. Good. So in Crazy Rich Asians, you know the boyfriend?
The main guy.
Yeah, the main guy. That guy. Henry Golding. He's suave. He's jacked. He's got a nice British accent. He could be James Bond.
I can picture it. Yeah, he's a good age for it. And
like it's a left field thing. No one would see it coming. That's my vote.
Yeah, good looking guy.
Yeah.
Good age. Yeah, I could picture that. That'd be cool.
Why is he Asian? Who cares?
Yeah, doesn't matter. It'll be interesting what happens with the James Bond franchise. Like, I think it's reached this point where people are like, hey, you know what? Maybe we can get a little bit more ambitious with the casting for this.
Well,
and that's what I hope.
James Bond is a slave to trends.
Right.
So, unfortunately, it might be viewed as a trend to,
well, sure,
stunt cast or whatever you want to call it. But hey, I think it's better. It's only a positive.
Yeah, because that's the thing. I mean, for the last 50 years, it's just been white dude, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's been played.
I'd be down with like changing it up, man. Especially in this day and age, right?
Yeah, I like seeing new things. Except you got to have that Aston Martin, classic Aston Martin.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, listen, have you watched any fun fancy movies? I know I have.
I watched the
as of late.
trailer to Captain Marvel.
Oh yeah, okay. Hey everybody, Captain Marvel. I mean, this is kind of a little bit old news by now, but there's been some Captain Marvel. I feel like there's been 2 trailers for this. I feel like I watched 2 trailers for this.
I only saw the one. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. What'd you think?
Well, when the trailer stopped, I was like, that looks like Marvel. I like Marvel.
Right.
That's about it. That's all I have to say.
Seems pretty boilerplate Marvel.
I mean, like, it's got stuff.
Not a bad thing.
It's got all the things I like. It looks cosmic. I kind of like the cosmic Marvel. It's got the scrolls. That's fun. People love scrolls.
Right. They're finally putting the scrolls in.
They look goofy.
That's really interesting. Yeah. So do we know who is going to be like the super? Or I'm guessing Super Scroll is in there, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I think it's Ben Mendelsohn.
Okay. Yeah, because I know he's cast. Oh man, Ben Mendelsohn as a Scroll. I would love that. With the pointy ears and the.
I think it's a scroll. He's a scroll of some sort.
Weird.
That old woman on that bus is probably a scroll.
Oh yeah, Captain Marvel just punches some lady in the face.
That's always fun.
I wonder if they're I wonder if they're doing going for like a secret invasion kind of thing. It seems maybe it's like.
I mean,
that.
if you're going to go with the scrolls, you might as well go with some sort of secret invasion, right?
Right. Yeah.
And what else are the scrolls good for?
For anybody who doesn't know, Secret Invasion was this Marvel crossover arc that came maybe a year after Civil War. So like. Doing the big Marvel crossovers was like huge now because Civil War was like this big successful thing. But Secret Invasion kind of sucked. It kind of sucked.
What's it really about? It's about the Skrulls are secretly invading, and it's like who's a superhero or who's a Marvel character, who's a Skrull the whole time, whatever.
The impression they give you at the beginning of the saga was that, oh shit, actually a bunch of these superheroes have been Skrulls for a while now. Like, we don't even know how long.
Were they like Skrulls pretending to be human, or were they Skrulls pretending to be superheroes who are like on ice or something? Obviously, I've never read it. Like, were these like superheroes like taken out and like replaced by Skrulls, or were the Skrulls pretending to be humans the whole time, and they just happened to be superheroes?
Oh, it's like somewhere along the line, these people were captured and replaced by the Skrulls. So I think it was like Wolverine, Elektra, some other. It was like a bunch of people, right? But by the end of this, it's basically like, oh no, actually, it was just like replaced for a little bit, and then you know, everybody, happy ending where all the real heroes are saved and all the replacements are killed or whatever, and it's just like you know, like no consequences, right? It was like, I think the first one to be discovered was Elektra, and the impression was like, oh shit, like Elektra was just like a Skrull this entire time. But then the twist was untwisted, where it's just like, oh no, she's over here now, or whatever, you know, like.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, I guess they can't really do a Secret Invasion because there hasn't been really superheroes in 1990s Marvel verse.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is, like, if they made a movie with Secret Invasion, I would be perfectly happy with them just being like, there's been humans that have turned out to be Skrulls, and we're finding this out, and we got to fix it, right?
Yeah, that's probably it.
They don't have to be superheroes. I'm looking forward to seeing the anti-aging. Weird MCU anti-aging thing they do. I'm looking forward to seeing that with Samuel L. Jackson and Clark Gregg.
I'm looking forward to seeing that on Lee Pace.
Oh, Ronan.
I'm sure he's not actually going to be de-aged.
He'll
just
just
he's
be
an alien.
exactly the same.
I don't think he's going to not have his fucking black makeup on.
Right, yeah.
It's going to be a wide-eyed youngster being like, oh boy, can't wait for that peace between whatever, or not peace, whatever his deal is.
What is his alien species called? It's like is it
Kree?
the Kree?
I think it's the Kree.
I think it's the Kree.
What do I know?
I think it's that. Because...
and he doesn't like the Xandarians or whatever.
Yeah. Man, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 5. I tried to watch through that, but it was a slog, man.
I thought you were a fan of that show.
3 and 4... Seasons 3 and 4 were really good. And then it got to 5, and 5 was like, oh, they got zapped into the future, and now they're on this like prison barge that's run by the Kree. And that's all seems kind of all right, but like it was just boring as sin. It was really bad.
Bummer.
Yeah.
I haven't watched any of it.
You don't need to.
Good.
The thing that bums me out about television Marvel now, and I can actually say, like, so I've been watching Luke Cage Season 2, and I'm almost all the way through it. Not bad. Not bad. Not as good as Season 1.
But Season 1's bad, I heard.
The latter half of... I'd say the maybe the latter... Like, the last kind of arc of Season 1
I've heard.
bad.
Yeah, I guess I've heard it. It's like good for 6 episodes or whatever.
Well, the problem is they take a really good villain, and then they replace him with a really dumb villain. The kind of villain that shoots you in the leg into a garbage dumpster and then walks away, and then later on goes, "Why isn't he dead?" That kind of dumb villain. But anyways, the bummer I'm having with television Marvel is it used to be it tied in at least with reference or mention with the MCU, and it was like, oh, this is cool. Like Daredevil, they reference the incident, you know, and they talk about Captain America or Thor or whatever. But then they sort of like got rid of all that, and so you're watching like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or you're watching Luke Cage, and it's sort of like, well, this sort of just exists on its own, and there's no... What's the novelty of this other than... Like, it's not really compelling television, so the only novelty for me is like, okay, it's tied in the MCU, but then now it's not even tied into the MCU, so it's like, why...
Well, I think the novelty is also seeing your favorite characters on the small screen, big screen, but also at the same time as the shows, from what I understand, and I haven't seen them, but no one seems to really like them that much. So I don't know.
Yeah. But with that, they've announced Daredevil season 3 and they've announced Punisher.
They've announced
season 2.
Today Jeff Loeb was like Daredevil's going to go through like 6 seasons.
I'm fine with that. Daredevil is the best of them, honestly.
As a hero or as a show?
Show. Both. Both.
What about the Punisher? What about
Punisher's great too.
other heroes?
I'd see, and then also like Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. Like season 1 was enough to be like, oh, this is good. Mm-hmm. I'd continue watching this, but then the season 2s were like, well, maybe not.
Yeah. I actually heard that for the Disney's proprietary stream network, they're developing both a Scarlet Witch TV series and a Loki TV series, which is also tipping its hat to the post Infinity War.
Loki?
Yeah, that post Infinity War. What do you call it? Status quo. There, maybe
confused.
unless it's a prequel series of some sort. Yeah, they
it's
said
not going to have Tom Hiddleston.
They were saying that it's I guess likely might be strong, but like they're looking to get him or something like that.
If it's not him, then man, they are.
Or it could be Lady Loki, like in the comic books now.
I'd be fine with that. All I'm saying is if you're recasting Loki as we know him and being like, well, it's not Tom Hiddleston, but it's this other quirky guy. Fuck that shit. Am I right?
I don't really want. I like Loki. Wouldn't want to watch a whole show. Well, I don't want to watch TV anyways, but I watch some TV. Wouldn't watch a whole show with Loki though.
I don't think so either, unless they made it just full on laugh your ass off trickery.
Now the real question for me is
like him putting a whoopee cushion under his dad's throne or something. Anyways, go ahead.
I'm just wondering what Marvel hero would have to make a TV show for me to give a shit.
Are we talking lower budget, like lower tier Marvel, or are we talking nothing off limits?
Like TV, like Netflix Marvel.
So what I mean is like none of the heavy hitters. We got to pick like a B character.
Yeah, I guess I'm just trying to think of what character would be like. Ooh, I'll watch that. Like my mind goes to Moon Knight.
Moon Knight's cool.
But
wasn't
like,
there a rumor that they're doing something with him?
But at the same time, it'd probably like still. I like Daredevil too, and I haven't watched that show, so I probably won't watch that one either.
Aren't they making a movie or a show with Moon Knight?
Yeah, who cares?
I mean, I do.
I'm kidding. I don't know. Maybe I've heard rumors. Oh, they announced. Oh, I forgot. They announced Marvel on like last week. They announced the Eternals. Which is a new movie directed by Chloe Zhao, who is an art director I've never heard of before, but people really like her stuff. She made a Western, I think, called
I've heard of her.
The Writers.
Okay.
Which is cool.
Eternals, I have nothing on that. I don't
Kirby
even
things
know.
Where Jack Kirby's cosmic around, isn't it?
Yeah, it just whatever. You know what I would love? Make a Planet Mojo show. I mean, obviously you couldn't, but I'd be down for a Planet Mojo show. You know what Planet Mojo is, Alex?
Nope.
You got Longshot. He's a mutant that has shots that are long. He's got a mullet, and he's got these like fingers that are like this. He's got like the 3 big fingers.
Oh, he's a fucking Nightcrawler.
He's just a crazy fun guy. And then also that one Mojo. Mojo's on. He's that big yellow weird ass fucking. You know who I'm talking about with the electronic braids and the. He like tortures people and makes them fight each other and all this shit.
So if I Google X-Men Mojo, is it X-Men?
Yeah, X-Men. And I think Shatterstar is from Planet Mojo, according to Deadpool 2.
Shatterstar. Oh, dumb. You're right, Mojo, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you know Mojo.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah, I would love that. That's like what, because that's okay. When you talk about other dimensions and Marvel, hey man, go for it. You don't have to worry about connecting shit. You know, you could just go for it. You don't have to keep track of anything. Or like Age of Apocalypse.
They made a movie of that.
No.
Well, it's called Age of Apocalypse.
It's called Apocalypse.
Oh, right.
Right. I'm talking Age of Apocalypse. Do you know Age of Apocalypse?
I know of it.
So back in the 90s, and this is, I think,
in the 90s,
early Joe Madureira drawings, who's a really great artist, but X-Men had like a lot of crazy 90s arcs, and I think that's why people love 90s X-Men the most. But there was stuff like Onslaught, which was really bad. But then there was also Age of Apocalypse, and it was basically this different dimension where Apocalypse rules the world and everybody's all fucked up, right? And it was like a lot of that overblown 90s design. Like
pouches for everyone.
Pouches
and
for
bandoliers.
everybody. Like Cyclops, they had him have this like really like grungy 90s hair, and like they revised his visor and all this. And there's like Dark Beast, who's like an evil beast. And Sabretooth had like this little weird like mini Sabretooth with him. It was great. It was a great time. It was a fun time.
No, it wasn't. I mean, it's fun, but not great.
But I wouldn't mind a show like that.
Well, that'd be weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like, the first thing that comes to my mind is like the New Gods, but they're already making a movie of that, and that's also DC, so.
Oh, right.
See Mr. Miracle and et al. Do their whole thing.
Guy Gardner.
Yeah, Guy Gardner would be kind of fun. That'd be a fun
Yeah.
show. Just kind of space cops.
It's like Nash Bridges, but with Guy Gardner.
Magnum PI, but
with
Green
Guy.
Lanterns.
Yeah, dude, I'd be down.
Yeah, I'd watch that. I would watch that.
It's literally just Guy Gardner on the beat, like just hunting. Just he's just on patrol with fucking aliens causing crimes.
Yep. And then he's got to fight the Red Lanterns, and maybe he becomes one. Who knows?
Oh shit.
Yeah. Speaking of trailers, another trailer news. Did you watch Bumblebee, the biggest other new trailer?
You know me, Alex. I half watched it because my interest in Bumblebee is less, but I don't know. Visually, it looks interesting.
I mean, like, it looks like it's like I'm probably able to see it just because I'm interested in seeing what Transformers movie through the lens of not Michael Bay, both
Right.
literally and figuratively.
Right.
And also, I am a big fan of what they've done with the designs in this movie.
Yeah.
They sort of gone back to basics and made everything look kind of like a cool version of their 80s toy counterparts, as opposed to being like a bunch of tubes taped together.
I know that was one of the problems I sort of had, and a lot of people had with like the Transformers movies, right? Is they were sort of over-designed, and then when it came to them actually transforming, it was sort of like nonsense.
Well, they still kind of transform like nonsense, but at least because you got to kind of, in order to make sense in sort of reality or whatever.
Yeah.
But at least when they're like fully formed, they like look like they got like pieces, like you can see like the sort of like the anatomy, if you will. Like they're not just like a bunch, like I said, they're not like a bunch of tubes stapled together.
Oh yeah.
They actually have like chunks of color, and they look like fucking cool stuff. And you got all that fun stuff, and you got Starscream and Soundwave and Optimus Prime is fucking around in Cybertron. It looks kind of like that game that came out for Xbox like 5 years ago, 10 years ago.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. That was a good game.
So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
I'm really glad with what they're doing with the visuals.
That game and then also a TV series came out at the same time, and they were both kind of pretty good.
Yeah,
if I
Transformers
remember.
Prime.
Yeah. Yeah.
Based on the same continuity or whatever.
Right. That was a cool era for that.
I tried watching Transformers Prime, and I'm sure it was like, this is fine, but
Right.
Whatever.
Nothing beats Beast Wars. Come on, everybody.
Yeah, even then, I probably wouldn't watch Beast Wars nowadays.
Yeah. I mean, it. I don't know how much it holds up. It's not bad. I've seen it in not really recently, but maybe within the last 5 years.
I think it's probably all on YouTube. I bet you could find it all on YouTube.
I bet you could.
I just remember watching like the first episode, and I remember just thinking like, oh, this looks bad, but it's not bad though. And that was like, again, 5 years ago too.
It was like good kind of background TV.
Yeah.
I mean, back when it was on, it was like I would wake up, and I remember it was a part of UPN.
No.
Back when they had their Oopin cartoons, right? And they'd be like, "That's Oopin," and what it was is I think at 7 o'clock they had Jumanji, the cartoon.
Oh my God.
Which that wasn't bad. That was actually kind of well put together as a cartoon. It was serious. It was a lot more serious than the movie was.
The movie's really serious. You kidding me?
The movie's serious, but in the cartoon, the premise was a little bit different because it was the kids that went into Jumanji, and Jack was in Jumanji. They were like in the world of Jumanji.
We wouldn't see that until 2017.
Yeah. And then at 7:30 would be Beast Wars. And I remember always being bummed out because I would miss the last half of Beast Wars because I had to fucking go to school. Fuck education. Am I right?
Yeah, fuck it. I
Beast Wars is education.
on my UPN. I think it was the WB network. We had Pokemon in the morning. Wake up at like 6 in the morning because you're a little kid and you just wake up there and you watch some Pokemans.
Pokemon. Boy, Twitch has, I think, all of the episodes playing right now.
Mm-hmm.
So at my last gig, which I had my last day on just recently, and now I'm on another gig. So don't worry.
Unsaid.
Don't worry, folks. All right. No bologna sandwiches for this guy. But anyways, we, my coworker and I at lunch, we just watched this Twitch streaming Pokemon. And man, that's like the McDonald's of shows, Alex.
Yep, it was.
There's not much going on in that show other than just, here's merchandise, kids, so go out and buy this.
I mean, it's like every show from the 80s, just like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not an 80s show, but, it's just cartoons.
Well, what I feel is like anime, in a large part, took a page out of the book of 80s merchandising with like G.I. Joe and Transformers and all that.
Transformers is a Japanese toy, so.
Oh, that's right. But they fucking revolutionized that shit. Like, they took that and just did it to the max with Pokemon. Like, Pokemon is like weaponized merchandise, man. It's crazy.
Well, here's the thing. The thing about the Japanese is that the Japanese give 10 fucks about everything.
10 fucks?
Yeah, they don't give a fuck. They give 10 fucks about everything.
Explain.
They're very serious. They like their things to be the best.
I can't disagree with that. I don't have any evidence against that.
If they perfected merchandising, makes sense.
Well, what's interesting is like when the 90s came around, I feel like American cartoons sort of left merchandising, and then Japanese cartoons kind of went full blown into it.
Yeah, well, I mean, like the late 90s was like that Nickelodeon era where it was just sort of like cartoons for cartoon's sake.
Right. It was like, I mean, you got stuff like Cow and Chicken.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck is that?
Where you're never going to get a action
Real monsters.
You're not going to get action figures. Well, I think there were action figures for some of those.
They were, but they're not like they're not flying off shelves.
But they weren't merchandise
until you get
shows.
to SpongeBob.
Right, yeah. It wasn't making a cartoon to sell merchandise. It was basically making merchandise because a cartoon was made.
But like Pokemon as a show was made because there was a game Pokemon.
Right.
So it was a show to sell the game. So it wasn't a show to sell something that hasn't existed yet. It was a show to sell a game that had existed. So it was the whole thing.
What came first, the cards or the show?
I think the game, like the Game Boy game, was
the game was first. Yeah, that was like 95 or 6, right?
Yeah, I think in Japan 96. I think it may have taken as long as 98 to come out here.
Okay, but between the show and the cards,
I don't know.
Because I know they came around right around the same time.
Gonna have to ask one of them Poke historians.
And those people kind of forget. People forget how much those cards were like a thing.
They're huge.
Holy crap.
I remember going and visiting friends of the family in Arizona in like 97, 98, something like that.
Yeah.
And they were Pokemon card crazy. And it hadn't spread to the Midwest yet. I'm sure you probably were, ankle deep in Pokemon cards at that time. But we're like, what's this? Pokemon card? I love Pokemon. Pokemon cards? What? And then and that's when I first got that. And then by the time I got back home, it was like the fucking biggest thing in the world. But the fucking kid we were staying with like fucking like gypped me out of my, or not supposed to say that, fucking stole my fucking Mewtwo. He like traded me like a whatever card from Mewtwo because I didn't understand the value of cards.
There was a lot of Pokemon card swindling.
And I think my mom actually had to make him give it back.
Oh yeah.
Because I discovered, hey, wait a second, that was my good card.
The weird thing about Pokemon is like I played the game, and even back then I tried to watch the show and I just wasn't really into it. With the cards, I kind of was not into that either.
It was too old.
Well, here's the problem. Like, okay, with us, it's sort of like with my age group specifically, Pokemon was just exploded when I was in 6th grade.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even like it was maybe halfway through 6th grade that this became a big thing. And then 6th grade ended, and then 7th grade started. And once 7th grade started, if you liked Pokemon, you were like a geek or a nerd or, pick your pejorative word, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it was it was the plague, basically. Like, hey, you're not cool if you like Pokemon. So for us, it was like there was a 6-month window of Pokemon, and then that was it. Like, it was gone.
That's kind of just like the middle school, elementary school, middle school jump. I think it had nothing to do with lots of stuff,
Well, I mean, like for you though, what was it like for your age group?
Well, let's see. For my age group, all I remember is that Pokemon cards were the hot shit until in 4th grade they're like banned, not allowed in school, and then like Pokemon cards kind of died out because of that.
Uh-huh.
But Pokemon was still popular, and like I only played like Pokemon Yellow up to Yellow. I didn't play Gold or I played the remake of Pokemon Blue or Green, Leaf Green, if you will. But I haven't played any of the other Pokemon since then, so I was never really part of that scene anyways. But all my friends me and my other friends are a bunch of dorks, so like Pokemon was never really gone. Like through high school, they were still playing Pokemon. My friends were still playing Pokemon,
right?
And I was like, oh well, I don't really play portable games.
Well, and then also, I don't know if it was this way for you, but for me, when you're a kid, especially, it's sort of like you get picky choosy, but you sort of you pin certain things against each other. I'll give you an example when it comes to Pokemon. Like for me, it was like, oh man, all these people are into Pokemon, and I was into Dragon Ball Z. So for me, it was like, oh man, Dragon Ball Z is so much cooler than Pokemon is, right? Even though you can like both, but I just sort of stuck to DBZ and didn't really like pay too much attention to Pokemon.
Yeah, by 6th grade, DBZ was the hot shit. DBZ and Gundam for me. I evolved to that. No pun intended. No Pokemon pun intended. By middle school, there were so many people that loved anime anyways that I don't really know what was acceptable and what wasn't. I can't remember.
See, and that's the thing. I think you're like 3 years younger than me, right?
Yeah, something like that.
It was just this. It was almost a different experience because anime really blew up by the time I was in high school.
Yeah, like Toonami had really ushered it in. But like by the time I was in middle school, we were getting like the obscure anime on TV, like people like Dot Hack and that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, that was high school was all high school was like. But then that was the thing, like culturally in high school. People were in high school, so they were into like music was a big deal, or parties, drinking, all that. That was all like that was high school, right? Mm-hmm. And then I mean, the only people that were into anime were like anime nerds, basically. You know what I mean? It was just like, okay, it was a very niche thing by then. And everybody else was doing the high school stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna become disturbed. I can't remember what I fucking liked in my youths. What happened to my life? I mean, I always liked video games. Like movies, I didn't really get into. Like I always watched movies, but I didn't realize I loved movies till high school.
Same here. Yeah.
Like I said, like in middle school and elementary school, I would just rent 5 movies at a time from Family Video and run them into the ground and just watch whatever the fuck. And then in high school, I was like, "Oh my god, I love movies! What you're allowed to like movies as a thing, as a hobby? I didn't know you could do that." So video games are always my thing, like anything video games. So
yeah,
I can't recall what else anyone else was doing. I also didn't like give a fuck about whatever else was doing either. So
I mean, same
and
here.
Nobody liked me.
Oh,
no, I know. I'm just joking.
Yeah, I mean, looking back on, I'm sure we've talked about this before, but like. The big things that people liked in high school when I was in high school was like emo music. Bless you.
That's why I think of emo music.
Yeah, seriously. It was a huge bummer. Like emo was like a big thing.
Get it?
Yeah. Everybody had the flap, that fucking dumbass.
Oh yeah, the emo
flap. And I can say that because no one has it anymore, so no one's feelings are going to hurt. What else was there? I mean, I guess that's kind of it.
like, I don't know. My school was so varied. I can't think of what the things were anymore. I had to look at the year, and then if I look at like a breakdown of what was popular by year, I could be like, oh yeah. But off the top of my head, I don't pay attention to things.
Like hip hop culture, I think was a huge thing when I was in high school. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways,
speaking of animes,
huh?
Yeah, they're making a live action adaptation of The Last Airbender for Netflix.
Yeah.
I guess is it an anime? I don't care. That's interesting.
You know, that's an interesting question. Is Avatar an anime?
I don't know. There's some sort of debate.
I would say categorically it's anime inspired. I don't know if it's anime though.
I wouldn't probably. I think it has to be Japanese in origin to be real anime.
Right. I would say that too.
In the same way, like if you made like if in Japan they animated something that looked like Looney Tunes, it would be an anime still.
Well, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean categorically anime is just something that's been exported to us from Japan,
I think that's the
right?
strict definition. So that's why I'm just gonna line in the sand. Shows like Avatar or that one show Ruby or whatever, those aren't anime.
Right, but otherwise just anime inspired. Yeah. I'm down for Netflix series. I think that's probably much better than a movie. I know I had a conversation with somebody recently where they were talking about like, well, okay, so the M. Night Shyamalan movie was a failure, but how would you even make a good movie to cover an entire season, let's say, of Avatar? Maybe it's nearly impossible. And granted, I mean the M. Night Shyamalan movie could have done things better anyways, but yeah, I mean it's a good point. Like, how do you cover that much ground?
I mean, the story beats were there. It was mostly the dialogue and acting and effects, and maybe pretty much everything else was subpar.
Oh, okay.
God damn it.
Bless you.
Thank you. I don't know. The problem with that live action series, at least just from the outset, is that like show's already great. Like what's there to do?
There's that too. No, I agree.
Like I don't know. Like it'd be cool to see something with all the gusto of a live action thing. But the problem with television is inherently cheaper than movies, so it's not going to be like photorealistic necessarily.
Right. Yeah.
So that's you got that hurdle. And you can make something photorealistic. It just costs time and money and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's and also like I'm interested in seeing what they do to try and differentiate themselves from the series. And then obviously you can't make like a sequel like Legend of Korra because they already got that. And you could do a prequel, but like I don't know, maybe they'll just take the beats like the start and like go somewhere completely different with it. Who knows?
Well, the impression I have is this is going to be a remake of the original series.
Yeah, that's the impression
right?
I have too. But like maybe they'll like start off with the same premise, and by the end of it, it'll be like what a crazy divergence.
That might not work in their favor, but I don't know. I think people are really screaming for like I honestly think, and this is what makes it kind of a cool and also good idea for Netflix is that M. Night Shyamalan movie. I think a lot of people were just flat out heartbroken. Mm-hmm. They wanted to see their favorite cartoon retold in a big feature film live action setting. Now, the thing that I think was working against it being a Netflix production is you don't get that. Like you said, it's like, okay, so it's not going to have a monster budget, and it's not going to be in theaters, and that's like, where's the magic here, right? We're literally just turning on Netflix and watching a live action TV budget version of a show that probably doesn't need to be remade that way. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I'd be all for it being like an anthology. In that best case scenario, it's like, hey, let's just make an anthology of, let's go somewhere else in the timeline and just do something like that.
Yeah. Well, you will see. I have my eye on it, but like I'm not super interested at the moment.
Yeah.
Anyways, before we run out of time, let's talk about things that we've actually watched.
Absolutely.
So, yesterday, I was like, man, I want to watch something fucking stupid. So I turned on Amazon Prime to find something fucking stupid, and oh man, how my faith was rewarded. I watched Jean-Claude Van Damme in Double Impact.
Double Impact.
Where Jean-Claude Van Damme plays Twin Brothers. Written and produced by Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Now, is this like 90s coked out?
1991, probably
Yeah.
coked out. It's a fantastic, stupid, fucking fun Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. I love Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. So yeah, Jean-Claude Van Damme plays two twin brothers, and you can tell them apart because one has like slick back hair and one does not. But they're built the same. They hilariously go out of their way to explain why both of them have inexplicable French accents because one grew up in Hong Kong and one grew up in, or one's from America. But his adopted dad's like, why do you think we lived in France all those years?
Uh-huh.
And the other one, hilariously, was dumped off at a French orphanage in Hong Kong. Oh, man.
That's ridiculous.
This movie has some of the fucking most hilarious not giving a shit continuity that I've seen in a long time. So there's a part where a guy is driving down the car in his red convertible, and he's got like gray hair, and he's like a bodyguard character. And then he's like, I'll be right there. And so there's a wide shot, and he turns around, and he has jet black hair now, and he's doing stunts in a wide shot, and they cut back to him with his gray hair, and he's like, I'm coming. There's a part where Jean-Claude Van Damme breaks down a door to go into an alleyway, and there's a shot of him breaking on the door, there's a shot of him, the door opening in the alleyway, and the shot back to him being inside, being like, let's go. And you can look through the door, and it's a fucking sound stage. It's just like a bunch of wood beams.
Wow.
And then they cut to them outside. It's so funny. And one of the parts, and also because it's basically like Parent Trap with splits, right? So like they do the whole like 2-and-2 green screen technology, which looks really terrible. Like half the time they do it,
right.
and one of the times they get the shadows wrong, and so Jean-Claude Van Damme is like half ghostly disappearing, like the back of his head's in shadow too much. So like the black screen technology is getting fucked up, so you can see through him for a little bit.
Weird.
It's so funny.
That's crazy. Double impact. I've never even heard of that.
And then Jean-Claude Van Damme fights himself in a series of okay, but kind of like could be better shots because you can't get a wide shot in there, so it's like him fighting himself from over the shoulder cams both ways. It's great.
Is he fighting over the shoulder, but it's basically they're using the back of someone else's
Yeah, they're using
head?
the back of some stunt guy's head, and he's fighting himself for one scene.
That's crazy.
Oh, at one point, Jean-Claude Van Damme, one of the characters, gets so mad that he punches the phone. He's like, he thinks his brother is fucking his girlfriend. And also, like, this girlfriend, we'll get to her in a second. And he gets so mad at the thought that he goes, and he punches a phone.
Hey, man, sometimes, you get in your head too much, your own head too much, and you just say, you know what, phone? Fuck you. And then you just slam the phone.
Yeah. And also, like, so this is, and there's one of these, like, an introducing actress as a girlfriend character. And, like, I felt so bad for this actress just because, like, her character... Well, she was like hired probably because she's easy on the eyes, as you say. I'm sure like she was like picked specifically by the Jean-Claude Van Damme or someone. But her character is basically there to be sexually assaulted a couple of times. And
by him?
No, by one by like some like tough lady, like a James Bond-esque henchman lady.
Oh,
And then once by some rando briefly. And also, there's obviously a out of place sex scene. If you're talking about a late '80s, if we're talking about a late '80s action movie starring Jean-Claude Van Damme, there's an out of place sex scene that it's in the contract. And then she kind of is tied up and screams for a while. It's like, aw, that's sad.
Wow. Well, that sounds like quite a movie.
Yeah, it's pretty fantastic. Would recommend. Not as good as Bloodsport, but.
It sounds like it's like a not The Room, but it sounds like it suffers from a lot of the same incompetency, I suppose.
It's just fun. I liked it a lot. It's exactly what I was hoping for. It's not like the same. It's got the villain from Bloodsport too, except this one he's got like a big scar. It's like this actor whose name I don't know. I forget it right now, but he's like the biggest dude, like the widest guy you've ever seen.
Wow.
He's like this Asian. I mean, it's probably a Hong Kong action star of some sort. He doesn't really talk at all in any of the movies he's in, but he's like a square. he's kind of short, but he's also equally wide.
He's a big guy.
He's just huge.
Wow.
And Jean-Claude Van Damme fights him. One of the Jean-Claude Van Dammes fights him, and it's pretty great.
So is it like a good and evil
No, they're brothers and they team up. The story
So
doesn't
they're
make
both good.
the story doesn't really make sense because like their parent they get split at birth and their parents are killed by like a shady white guy businessman and also the Hong Kong triad at the same time.
Yeah.
And then they like realize it later and they reunite. And then it's not really clear because it's. I mean, I wasn't quite paying attention. I think maybe at this point because there was like a line of dialogue that was dropped that I didn't pick up on that my girlfriend was like, "Oh, you missed that part." I'm like, "Oh, did I?"
Oh.
Where like for the whole movie I thought they're just out for petty revenge. Not petty revenge, but just like good old fashioned revenge. But apparently there's some kind of inheritance involved too. It's like they're depriving you of your wealth. You got to kill them and take it back. And at the end of the movie, that plot line doesn't come to anything because literally at the end of the movie, spoilers alert, everyone's dead, and Jean-Claude Van Damme goes, and then it ends.
You know, the thing with Jean-Claude Van Damme, what I think is interesting is, like, he's always I feel like he's often compared to Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? Mm-hmm. But it's sort of like Arnold Schwarzenegger is Charlie Chaplin and Jean-Claude Van Damme is
Buster Keaton.
Buster Keaton.
I think he's more like a Harold Lloyd, because like I think Stallone's the Buster Keaton of the you know, like because like the hierarchy, and this is not like in terms of like acting ability or martial arts ability or anything. It's just sort of like I feel like the popularity hierarchy is Schwarzenegger, Stallone, Van Damme.
I agree with that, yeah.
And then you got like, you know, at the bottom of the barrel, you got like
Steven Seagal.
Yeah, Steven
or
Seagal.
Some shit,
No,
yeah.
that's exactly what I was thinking of.
Steven Seagal. Wasn't there like some news about him recently? Like he was invited to, or no, he's like
Steven Seagal's one of those guys who like has, while no concrete evidence against him, has so many wild things that people talk about him.
He like wasn't he requested to be
and there's something Putin thing?
Some Putin thing, yeah, like ambassador or some shit, like something weird.
I've heard nothing good about that.
I've heard nothing good about him. Yeah, it's funny though, man. I mean, you know what's interesting is my aunt and my late grandmother are both big fans of Steven Seagal.
I've never actually seen one of his movies.
Which, me neither. I mean, how could I, right? They're, you know, the only one I recall is I recall seeing one on TV where it was like Steven Seagal and then the main villain was Tommy Lee Jones. But it was like it was like early 90s.
That was
probably.
like probably, what was the one that was basically a Die Hard ripoff?
It was probably that.
It's the one where it's on a boat.
Yes.
Boat
yes.
one.
It was on a boat.
I can't remember the name of it. And then the second one, he's on a train.
It was probably Boat Hard and Train Hard.
You ever know? I think in Germany they named Die Hard Glass, like something glass, like Glass Prison or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And then for Die Hard 2, they're like, oh fuck.
What do we do now?
Yeah, what do we do now? So it's like, you know, so they had to like change, like they couldn't call it, they had to call it Glass Prison, but so like it doesn't make any sense anymore.
Who
like,
did you say this was?
Like
the
Germany,
Germans?
yeah. Because like, well, to be fair, like Die Hard doesn't make sense in any other language.
Well, it barely makes sense in our language.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I heard someone pitched a great idea, and obviously the thing about internet movie pitches is anyone could pitch a good movie, but like that doesn't mean anything. Right. But I like this pitch. It made me be like, yeah, that for Die Hard 6, it should be classic. You know, John McClane's in a thing again. He's got to get out of it, but this time, oh look, it's also got Samuel L. Jackson there too. How fun! And it's called Old Habits Die Hard.
I'd watch that over what I hear it's going to be. Which is flashing back and forth. I know we talked
like
about
The Godfather Part 2 of action movies.
I mean, the ultimate Die Hard 6 movie. Yeah, I'd be down with bringing that team back or bringing Samuel L. Jackson and Bruce Willis back together. But I don't know. I mean, how do you even make a 6th movie? I don't even know what a good premise would be. I guess it would just be another. For me, I guess ideally it would just be another. Hey, this person's doing this bad thing, and here comes John McClane out of nowhere for whatever reason, just fixing shit.
Honestly, what it should be at the very least a Mad Max Fury Road style. Like, oops, we got a new actor in here. What? That's weird. You know,
because no one wants to deal with Bruce Willis.
well, it's also because like, if you want to make a franchise, just start over.
Well, okay, so here it is. We open our Die Hard 6 movie with a funeral, and in the casket is none other than John McClane's son, Jai Courtney, because no one wants him there. Come on, let's be real. No one wants Jai Courtney around.
Jai McClane.
So then Bruce Willis is really sad. He moves back to L.A., right? I think it's in L.A. All those take place in L.A.?
2 does. 3 is New York.
Okay.
He's a New York cop.
In
Doesn't
3?
belong in L.A. Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
He's a New York cop.
Because I know in 4 he's definitely in New York.
In Die Hard 1, he's a New York cop who flies to LA. In Die Hard 2, he's an LAPD cop in an airport in like Washington,
That's
D.C. or whatever.
right,
In
yeah.
Die Hard 3, he's divorced and moved back to
And
New
he's
York
back
where he
in New York.
belongs.
And they pick up with him. Yeah, he's divorced and he's kind of like down on
Or
himself
separated or
and
whatever.
shit.
He's not
Yeah.
quite divorced that time. Then he gets totally divorced by
That's
the 4th
right.
one. And the 5th one, he's in Russia for whatever reason.
Oh god, that 5th one. Okay, so in 6 he's back in New York, and then
Back in the New York.
you know his son's dead. No mention of his wife.
Is this like a Fast and Furious thing where his son's not really dead, or is he 100% dead?
I would love for them to kill off his son.
It'd be funny that it's an open casket, but his like face is riddled with bullet holes.
And then you get Reginald VelJohnson back in there.
Oh yeah.
You know, they have an adventure. Whatever. Samuel L. Jackson can join. Jeremy Irons comes back.
Oh, what if? Oh no, he's dead.
He's dead, but it could just be I escaped last minute. Or
I'm
whatever.
a ghost.
I'm a ghost.
No, here's what you do. Everyone's aged down for whatever reason. It's like a Die Hard 2, like a whatever they're doing with whatever. Where it's
Die
like,
Hard babies.
No, it's like the new Die Hard 2. It's like Die Hard 1 still happened, but like there's like a reboot of Die Hard. So like, but it's got instead it's like young John McClane played by whatever actor I can't think of. And Michael B. Jordan
Joseph
plays
Gordon-Levitt.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt, sure. And then Michael B. Jordan plays Reginald VelJohnson. Was it? He plays that.
The cop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now they're teaming up,
Yeah.
going on all sorts of wacky adventures.
No offense, but I don't think Michael B. Jordan is great casting for a replacement for Reginald.
No, it's not. I'm just
VelJohnson.
naming the first actors I think that I can think of.
But I think it is funny if they are just like, hey, we're going to recast this and make it extra sexy. Hey, guys, we're going to make Reginald VelJohnson's character like a super stud.
Exactly. It'd be funny.
Yeah.
Like the new 52 Amanda Waller, am I right?
Right, yeah. Or Lobo. God, what a fucking tragedy that was.
Oh, who gives a
what
shit
they did
about
with
Lobo? Fuck Lobo.
Lobo had a really, his old design was like real iconic.
Yeah, it's a great design, yeah.
And then they come back with just normal looking fucking Lobo. I don't know, whatever. I was not into it.
I don't know. Lobo's just weird.
The new Lobo looks like Lobo if he went to like college and got a degree.
Now, don't they both exist in the continuity now as 2 different characters?
I'm
Or am I
sure they
making that
do.
up? I don't
because
know.
everything's an apology with comics. Absolutely everything's an apology.
That's true.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. We'll change it back now.
Like, yeah. Oops.
Yeah.
And even things they don't need to apologize for, they change. Like Superman has his underpants again. It's like
Right.
no one wants. Everyone was fine with the way it was.
And then Nick Fury.
Is he white again?
No. But what they did is they had Nick Fury be the white Nick Fury or whatever, and then since they wanted the Samuel L. Jackson one in there too, they made him his son or something.
I thought one was Ultimate and the other one was Earth.
Well, the
whatever.
Ultimate one has existed since like 2001, and that's why they casted the movie.
No, I meant like, but didn't they combine Ultimate Universe and like the regular continuity universe together? So that's why Miles Morales is in the regular continuity now.
They did, but the Samuel L. Jackson Nick Fury existed in the classic universe before that happened. And what they did is they made him the son of the original Nick Fury, which I
Okay.
guess is fine. But now there's like 2 Nick Furies.
You know, I'd watch like it's too late because they're already doing the prequel, but a Nick Fury, like, James Bond-esque spy TV show and or movie.
With
Would be
Samuel
pretty-
Jackson.
Oh, no, you'd have to cast a young actor.
Oh yeah.
But that'd be kind of cool, but it's not happening because you already got Captain Marvel thing.
Right. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. So what did you watch?
Well, I needed to cleanse my palate of Predator filth. And we actually here ended up watching, for me, rewatching American Psycho,
American Psycho.
which still holds up. The ending is a little bit weak. I think it sort of ends with like just some weird ambiguity that like sort of doesn't like.
Did he kill those people, Mike?
It's sort of like, okay, give me a little bit more than that. Like the
That's
movie,
fine. That's how the book ends, I'm sure.
yeah.
I haven't
But-
read the book. I read the book's even more fucked up.
I mean, it just sort of, man, like Christian Bale, goddamn,
Yeah.
what a great actor.
Mike, can I ask you a question?
Huh.
Do you like Huey Lewis in the News?
Sometimes it depends on my mood.
I like The Power of Love. That's a good song.
I like, was it Heart and Soul?
But you know,
'Cause she's heart and soul.
they're just too gosh darn loud. It's a Back to the Future joke.
Oh,
You look confused.
gotcha. Yeah, no, I didn't
Do you understand
what you're saying.
Because Huey Lewis is the judge and in the like the talent show in the Back to the Future, or like
Oh,
so like
yeah.
fucking Michael J. Fox starts to play his guitar and Huey Lewis is like, you guys are just too goddamn loud. It's fun though. It's a fun little cameo, isn't it? Isn't it fun?
Oh yeah,
Isn't
Huey
that
Lewis
fun?
is all over that trilogy. He's all like they love Huey Lewis.
That first movie I really like, and the second two never got into them.
The first one is the only one that the first one is the only one that needed to be made. The 2 and 3, I mean, they're not. It's not a bad watch.
No, they're not
but
bad at all. But this might be a controversial opinion.
Third one
but
sucks.
no, that the Back to the Future movie, the trilogy, does not belong anywhere near the top trilogy of all time list. Not
No.
anywhere near it.
I-
The first movie by itself, that's a top 80s movie. That's on the top of the 80s movies right
Sure.
there. But the trilogy itself, like not even like top 10 trilogy, not even top 20. Get that out of here.
I mean, I don't think people, as far as I know, people don't really mention the
Oh, I see it all the time.
trilogy much,
I
right?
see it all the time.
No one talks about the third one. No one talks about the third one because the third one is just poopy family fun.
It's
like,
not poopy family fun. I didn't like the third one because it's just like we're just in one place the whole time, pretty much.
and there's just not a lot going on. Like, there's Biff's great whoever grandfather or some. I don't know. It's just like, who cares? I don't like. The second one had some interesting concepts, and I think it maybe went a little bit too dark, if anything.
It's fine.
But the third one was just like, hey, we're here in the West, and ZZ Top is here, and Biff's ancestor. I don't know, just whatever. It was done. It was
Like
didn't
if
need
they
to
jumped
go.
to one more time period, it might have been. I would have really liked it. You know,
Yeah,
something. Like
Yeah.
that. That's what I like about the second one is they jump all over the place.
right. Yeah, they get a little bit more into it with
It's a
the
little
second
more,
one.
it's still pretty wacky though.
Yeah. I mean, I really do like the whole, like, towards the end of the movie where Marty McFly is, like, reliving, or he's reliving the first movie,
You
basically.
just gotta like make sure the first movie happens.
Right, yeah.
It's fun. It's cute. It's
So
clever.
that's cool. But, yeah.
Well, there's probably not 20 trilogies. It's probably on the top 20 list. I'm probably just being harsh. But
I can't think of very many trilogies that...
well, you got Lord of the Rings, Star Wars.
Well, yeah, Lord of the Rings and Star Wars, for sure.
I mean, I guess the original Indiana Jones trilogy, if you count that, but now there's
No.
4 of them, so it's hard to say
No.
anymore.
No.
I mean, the 3 Indiana Jones movies are head and shoulders better than Back to the Future.
I disagree. I
I would
with
say that Temple of Doom is not as good. It's like certainly worse than Back to the Future, but Last Crusade and especially Raiders of the Lost Ark are better than Back to the Future.
I agree. Well, I agree with that. What I'm saying, I guess, is like, if we're to take the lowest low of Back to the Future, it's not as low as Temple of Doom for me. Temple of Doom.
That's an unpopular opinion.
Temple of Doom just doesn't do it for me.
We talked about it before.
Yeah.
Likewise, I give every Indiana Jones movie 4 out of 4 stars because they really do it for me. Also because that genre is pretty much only Indiana Jones and nothing else, and National Treasure, and like the Mummy. There's a couple, but like it's really few and far between. Yeah. Anyways, whatever we've talked about before.
But yeah,
listen to our old episodes if you want to get into that.
Yeah, there's not very many sensational trilogies. It's just how it is.
The Bourne trilogy, people like that. The Colors trilogy, I haven't seen that yet, but people like those.
The what trilogy?
The Colors, Red, White, and Blue. It's a French movies.
Oh, okay.
People like those. There's lots of movies. There's also thematic trilogies. The Man with No Name trilogy.
Yeah. Right.
Well, I mean, Colors is thematic. Like the Cornetto trilogy.
That can't. I'm sorry, but that does not count as a
Same
trilogy.
as thematic trilogies.
But it's not a trilogy in the sense that we're watching a series of movies.
It has to be the same character, you think?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, the Colors trilogy is linked by theme because it's Red, White, and Blue. But they're not, I don't think I have the same characters, but it's linked through thematic approach.
That's like cheating, though.
I don't think it's cheating. I think it makes sense.
You can't. What I'm saying is, I feel like you can't lump that in with like Lord of the Rings or something. Like, you know what I mean? It's like we're watching 3 installments of the same characters within the same world.
I think it counts. I think theme carries over through characters if that's the intent of the author, which it clearly is in the movie called in 3 movies made one after the other called Red, White, and Blue.
Okay, I'll give that to you. But the Cornetto trilogy.
That's more of the argument.
Those are just that's
There's the
not
Kotze
a
trilogy. That's a trilogy.
The
of
what?
Movies. The Kotze, Koyaanisqatsi, 2 other movies.
Oh,
it's like a bunch of documentaries.
Yeah, I've seen one of those.
It's like Samsara, but different.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of trilogies now.
Dark Knight trilogy.
Oh, the Dark Knight trilogy.
Which I think
Spider-Man trilogy.
Spider-Man trilogy, goddamn.
What other trilogies?
All the Marvel trilogies, but that doesn't really
Those
count
aren't
either,
trilogies, though.
like
Marvel is such a different thing.
It's its own thing. So I don't know.
The Blade trilogy.
But the third movie was bad.
I'm trying to think of trilogies nowadays. I can't think of it. There's not that many good ones. Yeah.
By the time it one of 2 scenarios I think happens 90% of the time. You have a really good first movie, and then either the second movie sucks and the third movie is really great, or the second movie's great and the third movie sucks.
The only thing that never happens is the first movie sucks and the second 2 movies are good. That's never happened.
Well, because if the first movie sucks, then what are you gonna do?
Oh wait, has it?
I don't know.
That's happened before, where the first movie's bad and the second movie's not. Like, recently there was Ouija. The first movie got like as an 8%. The second movie's got like an 85%.
Oh yeah,
or something around it, or something like it's like and people are like, this was actually pretty good, or something like that.
Yeah.
So I remember seeing that. Also, I keep wanting to call that movie Ouya because fucking Ouija. Learn how to spell. Stupid word.
I could say that about the new Ninja Turtles, but that was only the 2 of them.
What are you talking about?
Sorry, the first.
Oh
movie,
yeah,
the
that's
first
true.
movie sucking,
Well,
and the second movie being a huge Band-Aid over the first movie. But
Yeah, it does happen.
It wasn't enough.
It does happen.
Yeah.
So by that logic, Kingsman 3 is going to be great, which they just announced for next year,
Yay.
2019. Kingsman 3, written and directed by Matt Vaughn. Still,
I mean, that's cool that they greenlit it, and I'm glad that he's getting another stab at that franchise.
I'm looking forward to seeing where they go. I didn't like Kingsman 2, but it wasn't like I'm done. I just sort of like we've talked about. Kingsman 2 was sort of it was like a Die Harder situation where it was like everything about the first movie but bigger but not better.
It was just I just felt very tired. It just felt like very like, hey, we're making this because the first movie was great, so we scrambled to put this together and like let's bring back Colin Firth because everybody loves him, but not really in a great way.
Yeah, I think it was a real bad way to go about doing it, especially because it was like, I got shot in the head, but he's fine. And then the guy gets shot in the head later and he's fine. It's like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't take away death.
Well, even in the beginning of the movie, they bring that one kid back that like is the bully. I'm like, guys, don't have to do this. You don't have to do this right now. But they did.
What's the best case of someone being brought back? Is it Captain Barbossa, Pirates of the Caribbean 2? Which I know some people who hated that.
He was. I have no problem with Jeffrey Rush.
Well, the problem is Pirates 3 is sort of whatever.
I mean, if we're just talking cameos, I thought Scarecrow was always fun.
Red Skull was fun. That was fun.
Oh my god, yeah.
But like I think by bring back as a character. It's like I'm a character again.
I don't know.
Darth Maul came back. That was great, in my opinion.
I didn't like.
But you didn't see that. You haven't even gotten to that point in the Clone Wars yet, have you?
No, but still, I just.
His arcs in the Clone Wars are some of the best Star Wars.
Yeah.
Some of the best Star Wars you'll ever see.
I know.
He and his brother, they fight Darth Sidious. It's great.
Well, Alex, we're at a whopping 126 right now.
We've done more.
Yeah, but my neighbors are going to start pounding on the doors.
They don't do that.
So,
have they ever done that?
No, but I think it's time to end. I'm sorry, but
Your neighbors were making more noise last week than we was. Your neighbors were making more noise last week than we was.
Well, yeah, but I tell you what, I think we're good.
We're talking at room
volume. Well, I think we're good. Why don't we call it a night, my friend?
Fine. So if you want to reach us, we're at filmtastedvoyage.com, filmtastedvoyage@gmail.com, filmtastedvoyage on facebook.com, filmtastedvoyage on youtube.com, and we're on letterboxd.com. I'm Batman Crothers.
I'm Mr. Kerosene. Hey everybody, we're a part of a bigger we're part of a second time in a row. We're part of a bigger podcast network, the Let Me Listen Podcast Network. All right. You can find all kinds of podcasts on this network, movie related and otherwise. So please visit us at our SoundCloud and on iTunes. Please leave some comments and some ratings. We're waiting for you. We're waiting to hear from you, and tell your friends about us because we're looking for more friends. Feel free to hit us up anytime. Talk about movies. Talk about other things. Hey, you got some problems in your life? Maybe I'll lend an ear.
Maybe deal with it.
Until next time, everybody. Good night.
No, come on. Think of a new thing to say.
And good fuck.
No, that's gross. You're gross.
Good night.
That's it.
Good night.
Cutting you off. We're done.